There's a point you reach when you realize you're going to more funerals than parties. And it's at one of those quiet, somber gatherings that stark reality hits you. And it isn't just about loss, it's a preview. This is the hard truth about why your social circle is shrinking and what it says about the years that you have left. There's a moment it happens, not with a bang, but with a quiet, creeping feeling. You're scrolling through your phone, looking at photos from 10, maybe 15 years ago, and you see a group of beaming faces, all of you squeezed into that tight little frame, totally convinced you'll be side by side forever. Then it hits you. You hadn't spoke to those people in years. The weekly calls have become yearly texts. Spontaneous weekend plans have been replaced by the quiet hum of an empty calendar. It isn't a story of some dynamic falling out. It's a story of a slow, inevitable drift. A story where life simply gets in the way. Your social circle once was a sprawling map of connections, and it started to shrink. And while it's a universal experience, it feels profoundly personal, leaving you with a question that echoes in the quiet moments. Something wrong with me? Well, the good news is the answer is no. In fact, what you're feeling isn't just normal, it's a sign that something is profoundly right. This shrinking circle isn't a failure, it's a filtration. It's a necessary, if painful, part of growing up. And understanding why it happens is the key to navigating the second half of your life with purpose and peace. Here's the first and most brutal truth. Paths diverge. When you're young, friendships are often built on shared circumstances. You're in the same school, you live in the same neighborhood, the same starting level job. You're all running roughly in that same direction. But as you get older, life stops being a single track and it splinters into 1,000 different trails. One friend gets married, starts a family, the other is consumed by mortgage rates, school districts, another pours everything into their career, pulling off 60-hour weeks. Someone else moves across the country for a new beginning. Suddenly, the common ground that you stood on is completely eroded. The late night talks and shared dreams that bound you together at 22 just might not be enough to hold you together at 42. When your daily lives are just so far apart, this divergence gets even sharper when you commit to your own personal growth. As the psychologist Jordan Peterson often points out, when you start to get your life in order, when you clean up your act, aim higher, and take real responsibilities, you inevitably will lose friends. You lose the friends who are comfortable with your chaos. You lose the friends who were partners in your dysfunction. Your growth becomes a mirror. And for anyone not willing to grow themselves, that reflection is uncomfortable, even resentful. They might not want the best for you because your best highlights is what they've been avoiding. You're not just losing a friend, you're outgrowing a version of yourself, and they were tied to it. The second truth is a matter of simple but brutal arithmetic. You just have less energy, not just physical energy, but social and emotional energy. When you're young, your social battery feels infinite. You can bounce from a party to an after party to a brunch the next day, no problem. But as you get older, your energy becomes more important, more precious, and it becomes a resource. Your time becomes sacred. You start to run a energy audit on your social life. Start asking different questions before saying yes. It's no longer, will it be fun? It becomes, is it worth the energy? Will this person replenish me or will they just drain me? Do I leave feeling good or do I leave feeling exhausted? You just stop tolerating the emotional imbalance and one sided friendships. And this is the shift from quantity to quality that defines emotional maturity. Research overwhelmingly shows that life satisfaction in older age is strongly linked to the quality of your connections. One landmark meta analysis found that people with strong social ties had 50% higher chance of survival than those with poor, insufficient connections. And to put that into perspective, researchers have said that being socially disconnected is as dangerous to your health as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day, and even more dangerous than obesity or physical inactivity. Your social circle isn't just shrinking, it's becoming more potent. You no longer have the time or patience for surface level connections. You start craving authenticity over familiarity. You're trading a wide network for a deep one because you understand that when it really matters, it's not the size of the crowd that counts, but the strength of the hands that are holding it up. And this brings us to the deepest truth. The shrinking of your social circle is tied directly to your growing awareness of your own mortality. That moment that you realize you're attending more funerals than parties is a profound turning point. Each loss is no longer some abstract tragedy. It's a direct confrontation with the fact that your time is coming. The ancient Stoics had a practice for this. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. Sounds morbid, but its purpose is the exact opposite. It's a tool for clarification. When you truly grasp that your time is limited, your priorities snap in a very sharp focus. You stop wasting it. You stop tolerating drama, pretense, and relationships that just feel meaningless. Losing friends who no longer fit isn't just something that happens to you. It's an active process of curation. You are clearing space. You are, in fact, being guided by the ghost of your future self, the person you hope to be in your remaining years. You begin to shed the friendships that don't align with that future. You're building a life that feels authentic to who you are now, not who you once were. And this is why the process feels so clarifying, even when it hurts. It's a sign that you are no longer willing to perform in friendships that feel hollow. You're no longer willing to betray your own needs just to keep someone else comfortable. You're choosing peace over the presence of people who disrupt it. The narrowing of your circle is a direct reflection of the sharpening of your soul. So, what does this shrinking circle actually say about you? Well, it says that you've grown. It says that you've learned that your peace is non-negotiable. It says that you value depth over breadth and authenticity over obligation. It's not a sign that you are less loved or less likable. It's a sign that the love you give and receive is just more real. Of course, knowing this doesn't erase any of that pain. The loneliness can be real and it can be very sharp. Jordan Peterson frames this as the price you pay for your own growth. You'll have to weigh the cost of infraction against the cost of action. Saying in stagnant friendships has a cost. Moving forward and potentially feeling lonely for a while also has a cost. You don't get to choose not to pay a price. You only get to choose which price you pay. The loneliness that comes from growth is often temporary. That needs to be remembered. The regret that comes from a life not fully lived, that's permanent. And sometimes something amazing happens. The friends who are meant to be in your life, they see you grow and are inspired. They pick up their own mess and they move forward with you. But even if they don't, you're creating a space for new connections. Friendships build not on a shared past, but on a shared present and a mutual desire to live authentically. This journey of shifting friendships can feel incredibly isolating, but it's a path nearly everyone walks. It's one of those silent passages of adult life we rarely discuss openly. So I want to hear from you. Share your experience in the comment. What's the hardest truth you've learned about friendships as you've gotten older? Maybe reading each other's stories can be a powerful reminder that we really aren't alone in this. Losing friends as you get older isn't a tragedy. It's a clarification. It's life's way of editing your story, cutting the characters who don't matter so the main plot can finally become clear. It's a sign that you are finally learning to be the main character in your own life. The shift from a life of parties to one marked by funerals, that's sobering, but it holds a very powerful gift: the urgency to live. It forces you to get serious about who you spend your precious time with. It's a call to invest deeply into the few who remain and to cherish the connections that have withstood the test of time. A smaller circle doesn't mean your life has less love. It means the love you have is a little more concentrated, potent, and real. It means the people who will stand with you at the end are the ones who truly walk beside you all along. And that friendship is worth more than 1,000 acquaintances.